everyone. Welcome to this week Indie Artist Music Hustle with Blind Intelligence. I'm your host, Miss Ronnie. Today we have a very special guest. We have Mr. RPM. Say hello to everyone.
All right, what's happening? What's happening, everybody? You good?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Just in the studio, doing a little something, a little something.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna start off with letting you tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
All right, cool. So, so yeah, I'm originally from the Caribbean, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I came to England when I was about 7 years old. And from there I've been just hustling, trying to find my way. Initially started playing basketball, went professional, stopped playing, and found music. I've always loved music, but you know, when you playing ball, that's a dedication. It's some serious time you put in. So
How you go over
uh,
from playing basketball to wanting to do music?
you know what?
What happened in your life? What thought came to you to make you want to say, I don't want to play basketball anymore. I'm gonna do some
it
damn
wasn't
music.
so much my decision. It was more like I stopped because I didn't have all the tools. I wasn't training the right way. You know. And when you get to that kind of level, you should already be established in where you should be playing. So, given that we're in England and it's gold. It's a gold mine if you find a 7 foot player. So we didn't have nothing like that. As an underdog team. So I ended up playing the 5 position at 5 foot, well, say 6 foot, 5'11", and I was just a monster. So athletic, you know what I mean? So it was like he was playing against a 6'3" player. So, you know, but that can only get you so far. So yeah, I ended up having to stop because I would have to retrain, and I was like, you know what, man, life is kicking in, you know, bills be, what I mean? So yeah, I
I know.
just said I gotta switch it up, and I said music I can do in my spare time, and yeah, we just kept it going. So
Okay.
yeah.
So how long have you been doing music? I know you told me that what you started out doing and that you made a transition. So actually, how long have you been in the music industry?
I'll say about 7 years I've been working on music when I like got serious, bought my equipment, and I took it seriously from there. As you make a big investment, I wasn't gonna pay for studio time at like, £60 an hour or a bit more than that, because I felt like I needed to work on my craft. I didn't, it wasn't just, I was a lyrical rapper, I'd say initially, having been influenced by like grime and stuff like that. That's in the UK, you know. But I believe it was like 2009. My nephew came back with with these tapes or these albums from America and whatnot. And one was like Father Like Son, Birdman, Lil Wayne, and Rick Ross dropped
Hmm.
Port Miami. So those two tapes, I bumped every song, and I just loved it. TPain was killing, and yeah, I just said
So it's safe to say that they are some of your positive influences in music.
definitely, definitely. I love what TPain's doing as well. As of recently, with his shows, his entrepreneurial shows, helping businesses and showcasing them at the same time. And then, in his studio, he talks music business. Talking about being independent, and all this type of stuff, and signing to Convict Music. He didn't necessarily need a $1 million check advance or whatever the case was. He took that 20,000 and flipped that, made that back in a month, and we start making, profit from that. So, you know
It's
what I mean?
possible if you have a budget to start out with. It's possible to do. Um, you just got to know where you're gonna put your budget and where you're gonna put your dollars at. You're gonna have
Right.
so much for production. You're gonna have so much for promotion. So much for
Mm.
marketing. Marketing and promotion is different when you break it down. So
Yeah,
um, if he's teaching those things, hey, he's
yeah, he's
giving out.
highlighting it. He's dropping game for people that I guess in all spaces. I mean, you could be in the game or signed to a label and not know the business because you're just so focused on being an artist.
But that's the thing. This is something that, okay. People talk about being independent or being signed to a label. and people talk about their advances and all that kind of stuff. But you have to have something, not saying you, but I'm saying as an artist, have to have something going for yourself in order for the label to even want you.
Right, exactly.
I have sat in, I'm not going to say where, some rooms where um, well, it's been several, but one particular artist said that, well, I want to keep this and I want to keep this and I want this much of an advance, but I really haven't got started on my social media yet. Okay, well, where's your fan base at? And why do you want to keep all these things? And if you can do this on your own and you have all then why do you want any of the record label money? Because that's what the record label is going to do. They're going to put up the money for you to be successful if it's a good contract and both of y'all carry out y'all ends. Now, as an independent artist, you can do all those same things, but you still must have a budget. I have seen so many artists don't have a budget for the most major part. You spend money going to the studio, you spend money getting the mix and master, you spend money for this and that. Won't spend money on promotion like you're supposed to be that great. Everybody's just going to come right to you and you don't have to do any work because you're the best in the world.
No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that at all. You know, I feel like
there are some.
Yeah, I don't believe in that.
Major artists, you will hear them on the radio, on TV, talking about, this is my latest project. I'll be performing here on such and such a day, plugging themselves. I have seen some independent artists get booked on a show and won't even try to sell one ticket. They supposed to be that great. Everybody is supposed to run to them, and you don't have to get out there and promote yourself. You don't have to find any new people. This $100 that you make is just fine. You don't want to make $1,000.
Nah. See, I feel like them days are over. You know, like being a pure artist is over. You have to be something really special, like Adele or Whitney Houston or something like that. To really cross over that. And still, like you say, you want to make. You don't want to be getting 10%, 15% from the label and have to pay your manager out of that. And, you know what I mean?
If you break it down, this is one of the things that I talk about. I read somewhere the average amount that an artist makes is about 12%. The management makes more than the artist because the manager is the one who is putting together the deals.
Right.
I interviewed a producer, and I think he was managing the artist, and the artist felt like that she got bigger than what she really was.
Okay.
And he explained to her, the reason why is because I paid for this promotion here, and I paid for this promotion here, and I registered this here, and this here, and this here, and I done this. And the argument that she had with him was, no, well, I'm the talent. And I kind of laughed when he said it because I know I probably said this before when we were talking before. I said, artists have attitudes like that. I always tell them in the year of 2014 alone, Spotify had 2 billion new artists to enter the music scene, which means there's a lot of damn talent out there. And is your talent better than all the other 2 billion for you to be talking like that?
That's a lot. It's true.
2014, and now it's 2021, and the world had COVID to hit. So anybody who even was remotely an artist became a full-time artist during 20.
Exactly.
So how did COVID affect you?
Sorry?
How did COVID affect you as an artist?
Boy, I'll say the biggest record I felt like I produced, I was going to release that. Well, I did release it February. I think it was like the 18th or something like that. And, I had a radio pluggers ready to go, and then COVID happened a month later. So, my mentor was just like, look, man, just don't even drop it. Pull your radio plugger because it's not gonna make any sense. Realistically, you want your radio plugger to get it to the DJs, and then the DJs to spin the record on radio, and then from there, you can start booking shows. they gonna pull everything, you know. So anybody taking any money from you realistically right now, they trying to make ends meet, you know, because they know what's going on. So I was just like, oh my God, this is terrible, y'all. What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Because you know, I dropped the project before, it didn't make much noise, and you know, I said I was going about it differently, so I invested heavily in promotion, like for a radio plug, you know, and yeah, my approach was different, you know, because I now understood that, you know what, you invest so much in creating the work, you gotta invest just as much, if not more, promoting it, you know. So that's just how I felt in it, and I had to pull it, and I was just like, okay, what's next? You know, what's going on? So it's just so just throughout the whole year, I said, all right, cool. Well, I need to get my mailing list up for DJs, and you know, get to know people and interviews and all these type of things.
Well,
And at the same time,
it's
sorry.
it's a service called
Mm,
Yangaroo where you can, if you already have your codes, you can get codes, you can pay for them. But if you already have your codes, you can go to Yangaroo
mm,
and submit your music videos, submit your music, you pick out your radio stations
mm.
and all of that. That's to get your stuff there. It's like $99 a month. You don't, how you do it is you say you have a project, if you're not doing it for anybody else, say you have a project
Mm.
and you want to submit it out to radio stations. You would get their service, you would pay the $99. However many radio stations you want to send it out to. They even have a package where you can send it out to college radio stations, where you can send it out to DJ pools and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And if I would just say if you had a budget of $350, that can
Mm.
get your music out to all the radio stations where you want it to go. Then the second part of that is then you have to start working on your marketing. You have to start
Right.
contacting them. You have to, start talking to people. Start
Mm.
getting to know program directors on a personal level, where when they get
Right.
your stuff, they can recognize it. They know who it is. And even with that, you know how you look on some radio stations and they have pictures and bios and stuff. You can add all of that stuff in there using that service.
Right.
So, and if you already have your music encoded, you have your music virtually encoded, then and you send it out, because you probably, if it don't have any cursing in it, you will probably almost get college radio play. But you want to be
Right.
able to get paid for the plays that you get.
Right. Right.
But there's
Right.
that where you don't have to go about doing it the hard way, and then you can just work on the marketing and the networking part of it, but your
Mm.
stuff is already there.
Right.
So there's ways to make it easier.
No, that's a lit plug. I like that because I think
I mean, it's out
design.
there. I mean, it's out there.
That's a lit plug for real. Because for me, like I said, I've been
If
looking
you want
for
like VH1,
mm,
BET, the networks and stuff, if your video meets TV specifications, you
mm,
can submit straight to them from there.
okay,
You don't have to go
okay,
through anybody else. You can just submit it straight through there. It shows how many people looked at it, how many times it was downloaded, where it was downloaded from. I mean, so you have
that's dope.
all that, all the analytics on it.
That's a plug. That's a dope plug. I like that. Nah, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Tell us about your
Appreciate that.
project now.
Yeah, well, yeah. So initially, I dropped the spree. It was eight tracks long. You know, had two features on there, and it was just insight into the business more so for me. You know how I'm gonna make a lot of noise with these records, and you know, I felt like when I dropped that bag initially is the first record off that, and I just felt like it's probably one of the dopest songs on there. You know, for me personally, um, because it's just turned up, it's club vibes. You know, but you know, there's a lot of cursing on there, and I was just like, you know what, I ain't
Do
gonna
you
clean this
consider
up.
versions?
I do make edited versions, but I was like, this is a lot. I, I just gonna leave it alone. You know what I mean? Plus, I was
Look how that
getting
too.
mixed and mastered again. What was
You
that,
don't
sir?
have, you don't have no radio edited version. Why you hurting me like
Not
that?
not not of that. Not of that. Not of that. No, no, no. not of that. But it's what I'm saying. I was learning as I was, and like I said, the songs, the records are dope. I feel like that whole project in itself is a project where you can go, all right, cool. I want that club vibe, I got that. I want that, lyrical vibe, I got that. I want that, hot girl summer vibe, that's there. Um, motivation is there. That's where my music is really based, is behind motivation. I love pushing people because, like I said, I play basketball. I come from discipline, respect, and you know, team effort, and achieving goals. So, that transpired into music, and I don't think that would ever leave me. So that being said, I found Nipsey Hussle in like 2011. My boy put me on, and that just made it even solidified it more. So I think most of my records, is always gonna go back to that motivation. And I come from hustling, so yeah. So that's what that project's about. That's the spree. So the spree represents, with like, you just keep going, to spree, to keep going, and I got a little brand called Winning Spree, so it's about winning. It's about picking up little wins, but never stopping. Understand that, what failure is just keep going, just keep spreeing, I'll say that's what it is. To me, I'll say spree represents failure in a sense, just keep going. And when you get that win, and you get the winning spree. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got a little merch on that, and I'm gonna turn that brand into a label and really push it, So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Is there anything else that you would want to add, such as a funny story, where they can find your album, your social media handles, anything else
Yeah.
you want anybody to know about RPemz?
Yeah. So you can get me on socials. That's RPemz on Instagram, Snapchat, on Twitter is R_PEMZ. Hit my email, that's in my bio on Instagram. And I'm a fashion guy as well. So when you hit my Instagram page, don't get confused by the fashion. You know what I mean? I'll do music, but I love fashion. I love taking pictures. I love just embracing.
That's still part of the art.
Exactly. So yeah, don't get confused. I still do the music. You know what I mean? And my biggest single that's been released is Designer. So do check that out. It's on all social platforms, social media. It's on old DSP. So check it out, run it up. And Designer came from the Fashion Runway as well. So shouts out Fashion Finest for having me. Rose Brown for inspiring me, to actually create that record, and yeah, I just want to shout out my management, Jukebox Management, always showing love and just keeping me going, so for sure. And also yourself, Ronnie, you know what I mean? Shouts out to you, you know what I mean, taking your time. And yeah. Love the accent, by the way. That country accent. Oh, I grew. Listen. I'll tell you something. I grew up on country music, right? Not to say like, like I said, I left the Caribbean when I was 7. My dad's older, right? So country music he was always playing. He loves his like Charlie Pride. Oh, when Charlie Pride like passed, he was like he was over. It's like I'm sure he cried. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll call him sometimes. He just say, yeah, just playing a little Charlie Pride. You know what I mean? He does a lot of karaoke as well. So grew up on that country, that sound, and I love it. So I'll be infusing hip hop with that country sound as well. So do look out for, those kind of records and understand where it came from. All right. Don't just think like, what he doing? Like, run? Nah.
That is my purpose of being here. I try to open independent artists up where a lot of times, because you're independent artists, all they listen to is the music. They don't know anything about the personality or different things like this. So I try to ask questions where people can learn about your personality, some of the things that don't work for you, some of the things that haven't worked for you, some of the things that you would like to improve on, because it can help somebody else. So that was the purpose of even doing this, because it's kind of like music education, but it's kind of like in a fun way. Whereas if somebody else is having that same problem, or somebody else, well, no, I'm not supposed to do that, or this is how this is supposed to go. Well, if
Mm.
you look and actually look at the information, you will learn something. That's the reason why I talk.
Right. No, definitely for sure. You know, and like I said, we gotta do this again. You know, because I'm working on I'm working on a new single, and I'll tell you now, there's 4 singles gonna drop in the next year. You know,
Okay.
3 months apart from each other, so look out for that. Hey, done. I'm ready to just get mixed and mastered, and yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Ronnie. You know, shouts out to Blunt Intelligence. You already know this is where we do it. Hey, you already know.
But thank you for coming. Y'all can find him on all social media platforms at RPemz. You also can find the podcast on all major podcasting platforms. You can find the video on YouTube, IGTV, and Facebook. Thank you for coming.
Hey, man,
Bye.
here.